the show where we highlight people and organizations that are advancing our U.S. chess mission statement to empower people, enrich lives, and enhance communities through chess. I'm Dan Lucas, the Senior Director of Strategic Communication at U.S. Chess, and my guests today are from DOROT. Named with the Hebrew word for generations, DOROT is a dynamic partnership of professionals and volunteers dedicated to enhancing the lives of homebound and homeless elders and fostering friendship and respect between the generations. Since 1976, DOROT has provided food, companionship, education, and cultural enrichment to thousands of elderly New Yorkers and those who care for them. Located on New York's Upper West Side, DOROT is a non-sectarian, culturally Jewish agency open to all seniors, caregivers, and volunteers. Every Wednesday in Westchester, New York, a group comes together after school to meet face-to-face across the chessboard. Older adults and students in grades 9 through 12 teach and learn chess from one another while building mutually beneficial relationships in the process. And while you may think it's just older adults showing the students how to play, the learning and teaching goes both ways, with everyone exhibiting patience, respect, and an open mind to what they can learn from one another, including gaining new perspective on another generation. While everyone has a varying skill level, the one constant is the enthusiasm in the room. Joining us today to talk about DOROT are Nathan Goldberg and Alex Masti. Alex is 15 years old and has been playing chess for about 8 years. This is his first year playing with DOROT. Alex heard about the program because his older brother participated in it when he was in high school. Nathan Goldberg has been a lifelong chess player, first learning at the age of 6 or 7, and considers himself part of the Fisher generation. Self-taught, his highest rating was 1999, which is tantalizingly just below the expert level. This was about 25 years ago. He started teaching chess in 1999, and we seem to have something going on with this number 1999, with chess in schools in New York City. He became an elementary math teacher for the New York Department of Education, but continued to find ways to work chess into his curriculum. Since retiring in 2017, he went back to teaching chess part-time to elementary school children. He says, I heard about DOROT's, and I'm quoting here, I heard about DOROT's chess program in October 2022 and joined up immediately. It is a wonderful way to mingle with older adults and high school kids in a community that shares my interest. And I hope I make a difference in the lives of others who participate in the group, end quote. So Nathan Goldberg and Alex Masti, welcome to the One Move at a Time podcast.
Nice to be here.
Thank you.
So, Alex, talk a little bit more about your own personal chess history, Alex.
So when I was a kid, my dad had known how to play chess for a while, and he taught me how to play. And usually around once a week or so, I would play with him or one of my brothers.
You have 2 brothers?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers.
And what is the rating spread in your family?
The rating, I think as of now, I'm probably the best, in part due to playing every week at DOROT.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have some pretty epic sibling rivalries over the chessboard?
Not epic rivalries, but we play from time to time.
And Nathan, it sounds like you have a pretty extensive chess history. Talk a little bit more about being part of the Fisher generation.
Well, it was exciting. I mean, he was LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and everything all wrapped into one. This was back when the Cold War was at its peak. And it was like Bobby Fischer took down the entire Soviet empire almost by himself. After the space race, it was Bobby Fischer. And it was just so exciting to watch him play and to see. I mean, he was just a phenomenon. The Soviets had a school of chess, and they taught pretty much everybody how to play chess coming up through the schools. And Bobby Fischer learned on his own, through his family, through a private coach, and was amazing. And so it motivated so many of us. The U.S. champions throughout the 1990s and the 2000s have been members of the Bobby Fischer generation. He is probably single-handedly responsible for the intense resurgence of chess in American schools in the 90s.
And when you are working with the high school kids at DOROT or interacting with them, my experience has been that teenagers now who play chess love playing chess, but have very little sense of the history of the game. And I wonder if this is one of the benefits of DOROT, where people like you are able to kind of inculcate this chess culture with them.
I do try and have conversations about things like that. The only thing is that it's over the board when we're playing intense games of chess, and it's not always considered polite to interrupt the games of chess to talk about other things. But it's nice when they come up in conversation while we're playing. Yeah.
And Alex, have I completely offended you by saying that your generation doesn't know much about chess history?
I don't know. I mean, I personally don't know that much about the history.
And Nathan, why do you think that chess may be uniquely suited to work so well with this kind of intergenerational interaction?
Well, it is an educational game. It's not luck, it's skill all the way. And there's so much to study, there's so much to learn. And when you're learning chess, you're actually learning how to learn. You're programming your brain in ways to, like the board in Star Trek, you're programming your brain to find ways to improve. Self-improvement in chess is the most important kind of learning that you can do. So high school kids, elementary kids, adults, anyone who wants to learn, I think chess is a very good playground or place to develop those skills.
And to that point, Alex, what's the most surprising thing you would say you have learned from one of the older members of DOROT while you've been playing chess?
I guess maybe it would be something along the lines of the history also. Like, I didn't realize like how much history and like how rich the history was in like America, and like I didn't realize how big of a part of that it had in like the growing of chess over time.
And Nathan, as a career teacher, it's very common to hear teachers say that they've learned so much from their students. There must be some story or two that you may have where you've learned something from one of the teenagers in DOROT.
I can't say yet that we've had enough exploration of the chess games to learn a lot in that respect, but I've been learning a lot just about where they come from, what their backgrounds are, how seriously they take the game or how lightly, and it's just fun to get to know the kids. That's not so much an educational pursuit for me. It's just socializing, and so it doesn't go into my database. It's just hanging out is fun.
Right. So it's this human connection that's so important here.
Yeah.
And I'm also curious. I mentioned in the intro how you found a way to work chess into your curriculum. Could you talk a little bit about how you did so?
Well, I had always been interested in math when I was growing up, as a lot of chess players are. And when I started teaching chess, I saw all of the geometry and lots of math working its way into chess thinking. And when I was teaching in elementary school, I was a math teacher for lower grades. And I started to see more concrete ways, like using the chessboard for learning to multiply with arrays in second and third grades, using the values of the pieces to learn to add. and problem solving techniques, which are a little bit harder to define, but they're also the same in math as in chess, where you the way you approach subjects and problems and try and solve them. So I ended up creating math lessons that were based upon the values of the chess pieces, based on multiplication and the chessboard and things like that. And the kids loved it. I mean, they knew how to play chess, and so this was all play to them, and it was like making learning the most fun thing that they could possibly do.
Mm-hmm. Alex, what are your interests outside of chess?
I say my main interest right now is sports, particularly hockey, which I play regularly.
Mm-hmm. I noticed this old school Montreal Expos logo behind you on the wall. You're a baseball fan as well?
I'm not as big of a baseball fan because growing up, my dad was a baseball and hockey fan, but ever since the Expos moved away, he's kind of hasn't been as big of a baseball fan. I've grown up more of a hockey fan.
Okay. And what are your future plans? Do you have I know it's a little bit early for colleges, but are you thinking ahead to that?
I have not yet made any decisions about college or like what I'm going to do.
Yeah, fair enough. It's all about exploring options at this age. Nathan, you had a long life in chess, and now you're exploring it in a more casual way with DOROT, with the high school students. What has the game meant to you in your life, and have you been more thoughtful about that since joining DOROT?
It's a really nice way to socialize, and with DOROT, it's a really nice way just to hang out with, whether it's others of my generation or other high school kids like Alex. It's just a really comfortable place to go. And I have to say, a lot of these high school kids are pretty good chess players. I might want to teach them a little bit about the history, but their knowledge of the game, is pretty sharp. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So start with you, Alex. Is there anything else you want our viewers to know, whether it's about yourself, DOROT, chess, anything?
Honestly, at the moment, I can't really think of anything else to add.
Okay. And Nathan, anything else that you want to close with?
Well, when I hear kids like Alex that are into hockey and others that are into soccer or basketball, I'm always making comparisons between chess and those sports because it's a team sport and you're the coach. And I really enjoy thinking about it as a team sport and looking at the pieces almost like they have personalities. And so we'll talk about more of that when we meet tomorrow.
No, that's really interesting because I have never heard someone make that analogy of chess as a team sport for that reason before. That's very clever. I like that.
Thank you.
So gentlemen, Nathan Goldberg, Alex Masti and both of you from DOROT, thank you so much for joining us on this One Move at a Time podcast.
Yeah.